that's not American, you can kiss my arse.
Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for watching. I'm here at Thunder Ranch, Texas, about to take combat shotgun with my man Brian, Tactical Response alumni. Trained together before. This is a great guy. We're actually staying in our cabin behind us here, so it's going to be an awesome weekend. Now, you and I have been talking about this class for probably 3 months. Months. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like we'll be texting each other weekly. Hey, you ready? Did you do this? Did you get that? Right?
Yeah, like excited.
Yeah. So super excited. This is my first chance to train with Clint. I believe your first chance.
My first time. Yeah, first time training under Clint. So absolutely, Clint Smith.
Yeah,
Thunder Ranch.
Going to be awesome. Right?
Absolutely.
So I figured we kind of talk about our thoughts and expectations going into the class, and then maybe when we're done, we'll do another video and we'll talk about what we thought and what we learned.
Absolutely.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing people want to know is your gear list for the class, right? And I looked at the gear list, and it was actually relatively, you know, a pretty easy gear list to come up with, right? A shotgun's not hard to find. What are you going to shoot the class?
All right, my primary gun is a Remington 870 Express Magnum. I've had that since 1996-ish. I bought it brand new at a store that was going out of business, and I got a pretty decent deal on it back then. It had like a wood stock, and
it was like $74 back then.
Yeah, it was pretty inexpensive, and so I'm running that. I've upgraded it so it has like a Surefire 4-end weapon light on it, and a Magpul stock, and a Special Operations Equipment SOE single point bungee sling with a tourniquet on it, and shotgun cards on the side. So
that's a pretty Cadillac rig. Like, it started as a basic Remington with 7 different names, Remington Express Magnum 9000 or whatever that was. But now, you know, and I've seen your gun, obviously. Like, it's a pretty Cadillac rig. Like, you got everything you need for a fighting shotgun.
Yeah, everything you need. Nothing that I don't. And for a backup, I have an old Mossberg 500 Mariner.
Woo! That's that.
Silver.
Yeah, that's
it's like silver, shiny.
Tactically classy.
Tactically classy. That's for when you got the suit on.
And you're gonna be running. How are you carrying your gear? Are you gonna be running like pouches or?
Well, I'm doing a couple things. Shotgun cards. We'll explain what those are later. That you're running your gun. It's a Velcro card that has elastic that holds your shotgun shell. So when that runs empty, instead of refilling like a polymer or plastic shell carrier, you just tear that off, put on a new one, and you're good to go. A new one that has rounds in it. As far as how I'm going to carry rounds, I just happen to have this, and he's like, let's do a video. I said, okay, cool. So this is a Special Operations Equipment micro rig for a 12 gauge. So it holds 24 rounds, and a med kit here, and this one's in Kryptek. Kryptek. So it's pretty cool. So basically, you run these as you're loading and as you're running these out, and so when this gets empty, you basically peel that down, take out the next one, and flip it out, and then you got another 6 rounds at your disposal. So like, this is like one of those elusive micro rigs from Special Operations Equipment, and out of all the stuff they do, this one is awesome. This thing is pretty awesome. So,
and if you think about this, right, 24 12 gauge rounds, that's quite a bit of firepower at your disposal. Shotgun fights don't tend to last very long, and if you think about having 24 rounds, and right now these are loaded with birdshot because that's the majority of the shells we're going to use in the class. But typically, if you're running this, would you run buckshot in here, maybe 3 buck and 1 slug, or how would you?
Man, that's all what you want to do. I like shooting slugs. I like loading my gun up with slugs. Remember, you're responsible for everything you launch out of that. Once you press that trigger and you launch it, you're responsible for it. So, like, I just put a slug. I load slugs in there. So but you could. I mean, if you could put buckshot on one side, slugs on the other. But I like slugs.
So what he's saying, like in a 12 gauge double-aught buck, like 9 pellets going out of the gun every time you pull the trigger. You're accountable for those 9 pellets, and they're basically 9mm. When you shoot a buckshot, it's almost like shooting a 9mm round.
Yeah, basically like if you were to shoot like a 9-round burst out of an MP5, and I know all the ballistic experts out there go, oh, it's not really like that. Well, listen, it's 9 holes going into the person that you're shooting, so almost equivalent to like a 9-round burst out of a full auto 9mm MP5 or something like that. So.
And then, in opposed to that, the slug, you're accountable for that one projectile. So that's a very good, velocity thing that I think is a great point.
While we're on that, people will talk about, like, they want to tighten the pattern of their buckshot.
Yeah.
They want to tighten it. They're like, so they'll get like different chokes, or they'll want to know, like, you know, they'll want to tighten it. And it's as simple as this.
Wad.
Flight control wad.
Yeah.
Or, you want to tighten your pattern? Put a slug in the gun.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a great point. Is like a lot of people will ask me questions about, do we have flight control wads in our Fiocchi buckshot?
Tell them, man, we sell slugs.
Yeah. Well, I said, you know, the main point I always say is, do you know why there's flight control in the first place? And it's from police, because they are accountable for those 9 buckshots, and they generally have longer shots. And back in the day, they didn't all have carbines in their cars. So if they needed to reach out and be effective, the flight control wad allowed them to do that and be less, you know, liable in a certain manner. For most people in their house, if you're going to want to shoot a flight control wad, unless you got a mansion, right, and you should probably have your own security, then you don't want that. You actually want it to open up a little bit sooner, so that you're going to actually get the usefulness out of a buckshot as opposed to the benefits of a slug. And that, like you said, that's a personal choice that you have to make. Like,
absolutely.
Am I going to be someone that wants to shoot the buckshot, or someone that wants to shoot the slug, so on and so forth?
Since we're here at Thunder Ranch, Clint, I'm paraphrasing right now, but Clint Smith says this thing like, you know, pistols put holes in people, rifles put holes through people, and shotguns physically remove chunks of shit from people.
That's correct.
You got to come and pick up with a shovel. And so, you know, a 1 ounce slug traveling at whatever feet per second, it's devastating. It will stop whatever bad thing is about to happen or is happening to you. So, yeah.
And I think that's a great segue into talking about the class. Like, for me, I'm super excited to learn how to kill bad people with a shotgun. And I don't know, you know, I don't know if there's someone better to teach us that than Clint. I know there are people that are on his level, so I'm super excited for that lesson. I haven't had professional shotgun instruction before, and I'm really excited to have someone teach me how to fight with a shotgun, how to use this, you know, use this weapon to protect myself and my community better. You've actually had shotgun training.
Oh yeah.
You've taken fighting shotgun and tactical response.
Yeah, like you see his shirt right here. Tactical response.
Weird.
Man, like fighting shotgun at tactical response teaches you how to fight with your shotgun. And like there's a lot of shotguns out there. There are. And they will probably be left behind when everyone's grabbing their ARs and AKs, and if all you can find is a shotgun and you don't think shotgun training applies to you, it does. Like, if you're a serious practitioner of this martial art of fighting with your guns, you should know how to pick up a shotgun and fight with it.
I don't know if there's a more versatile firearm on the planet than a 12 gauge shotgun.
Very versatile. Absolutely.
I don't know if there's a more versatile, you know, weapons platform. But, you know, like, I honestly think that a 12 gauge shotgun is probably the most versatile firearm. You can do the most with it if you had to. So I'm super excited. What are some of the things that you want to get out of this class?
Like, okay, so as far as training, I try to take as many training classes as I can per year, and it's like the 3 R's of training, right? So your training needs to be relevant, it needs to be realistic, and it needs to be recent, right? So if something happens and you have to use your firearm, right, to save a life, so you have to use your firearm to save a life, and you're on the stand and the question comes up, when's the last time you had training? Well, if you say, you know, 4 years ago, I took my NRA class or whatever class, probably not good. Like, there's a reason why police agencies train, like, at least once a year, even like the smallest, or when I say train, even just qualified, just to be put on paper that they went out and met a certain standard. And so people that carry a gun to save a life, and that's why we should carry them, is, you know, your training should be recent. And as far as relevant, like, if I want to learn how to use my shotgun, do I go take a pistol class? Well, take what's relevant for what you want to learn, and it's realistic. Like, if you have an instructor that shows up to your class and he's not carrying a gun, how realistic is that training going to be, right? Check this out. How about this? How about if he's teaching press checks, you know, teaching you to look down at your holster when you reholster, if you're reholstering empty guns, shit like that. Like, is it realistic training that you're getting? And basically,
before we go off that point too far, I want to add to that. If your trainer shows up not wearing a gun, run, leave. I like all your great points, and I agree with him 100%. I'm telling you, if you show up to a training class and the dude or woman is not carrying a gun, get the fuck out of there, get your money back, or just chalk it up to you made a bad choice and picked the wrong trainer. Sorry.
Or take the class and hopefully you'll get one molecule of something from it. You know, something. I mean, because
learn what not to do.
But yeah, I mean that's important to make sure it's relevant, realistic, and recent.
For sure.
So you know, but
so we're gonna be taking this class. We're gonna actually check back in after the class, and we'll kind of we'll do an after action report, if you will. But let's quickly go into what are your training goals for the year? Now that you said that you like to keep them recent, that made me think, like, what else do you have planned for this year that you're gonna do?
This is it so far. I don't know what I'm doing later in the year. Busy, kind of busy a little bit. So, but right now, this is
on
the class for right now.
Sweet.
Yep, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yep. There are some other things that I want to do, and we'll see if we can make those work.
Awesome. And how do people find you?
Shoot videos. So on Instagram, shoot videos. On YouTube, shoot videos.
Shoot videos. Okay. His Instagram is dope, by the way. Like he makes good pictures. He makes good content. Like, I like his Instagram. So check him out. You guys know where to find me, at Standing on Second. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. That really helps me out. He's running somewhere.
I just had to hold that up for you.
We're cabin mates. So yeah, at Standing on Second. Find me there. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. You guys stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you next time.
And remember, your training should be relevant, realistic, and recent.
That's correct.
Like a boss, baby.
Hello, testing 1 2 3 4 4 3 2 1 1.